Emily, how did you write Wuthering Heights?
Emma, wow. What was it like? You were Emily Brontë.
What's it like? How does it feel? It feels crazy. I'm really happy that it's finally come to light and that we're able to share it with people, because it takes so much love and care to make a film, and it takes a long time, and in Frances' case it's taken her 10 years to bring the story to life, so it feels like a great moment to unleash it into the world.
Yes, Emily is an icon. So when you got the role, how was your reaction? How did it feel? And now you're here. And
I was thrilled, obviously. I was thrilled and really excited to explore this character and bring her to life. And I think the idea was to make her really tangible and human, and not like a kind of an ethereal character from days gone by. So I hope we achieve that.
And the chemistry on set just looked absolutely, but it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Was it as good as I think it might?
It was really special and quite unique, because we shot in the second lockdown. We all lived in a house together, and we had rehearsals together before we started shooting. So it was it was a luxury actually to be able to spend that much time getting to know each other, and we all felt really safe and had a lot of fun.
Yes.
It was great. I've never played a priest before, so the priest takes his clothes off. So it was good fun. It was really good fun. It was great. Frances wrote like such an incredible dynamic between like Emily and Weightman, and it was so kind of electric on the page. So yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, the chemistry on screen is just unbelievable between you and Emma.
Oh.
What was it like kind of living together and working together?
It was a lot. We're still like quite attached at the hip, I feel. It was amazing. I think we were lucky in a way that we did all get to live together, you know. So I think it created a bond between all of us. I sound like such an actor, don't I? I don't know. We really bonded, but we really did. And I think that like there was such an ease between all of us that when it came to actually working, it was sort of like, it felt like it was very, very easy.
Wuthering Heights, do you know it? Did you know it? Did you read
know
it?
what? I didn't. I mean, obviously I knew of it, but I went to a French school, so we didn't like study. It wasn't part of the curriculum, but I've read it since, and I mean, it is, you know, it's like there's a reason why we're sort of here, and they've made a movie about Emily Brontë all these years later. I mean, her work, that one book, is, you know, it's such a classic and such a piece of like literary history, you know.
Tell us about Bramwell then. Tell us all about him.
So Bramwell was sort of the black sheep of the family, fell heavily into sort of alcoholism and opium addiction, and the later part of his life was sort of an aspiring writer, but just couldn't really match up to the talents of his sisters. So quite tragic, really, yeah.
Yeah, what was it like playing him then? Because it was quite gritty, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was great, it was a lot of fun. Most of my scenes are sort of swanning in, being like, bring me more rum, and then walking out, so I think I had the best role really in terms of didn't have to be very subtle.
And Frances was an incredible director. What was it being perhaps with a female director like that?
It was brilliant. It was brilliant having a female director, and then such an incredible director. I mean, female or male, she's just a brilliant director and so passionate, and I think that's sort of impossible not to be drawn to.
Tell us about your lovely character then, Charlotte. We want to hear all about her.
I mean, no one's ever heard of her, have they? So yeah, it's definitely not a biopic as such, so it's like very much taking the Brontes and kind of Frances' own interpretation of them, but I definitely was really trying to root her in the real Charlotte Brontë, and reading her letters and things like that. It's kind of, there's so much to draw from, but really her heart is in her book Jane Eyre, and I think you kind of get her heart from her writing, and then the rest was all in the, so sort of trying to remember that, and then this beautiful script that Frances brought is like just this amazing relationship between these two sisters. So it was just like getting really into that relationship and the complexities of that. That was really fun.
Yeah, we must talk about Frances as well. She's this incredible director.
So refreshing. I've been like sort of praying to like work with a woman for a while, and especially an actor director. It was so calming and comforting knowing that she'd written the piece and had this such a clear vision for it, and then also just knowing how to work with the actors, and it was a real blessing to get to work with her. Yeah. She's done such a fantastic job with it, like for her first feature, and it just blew me away.
Remember the book, or did you read it perhaps when you were younger?
You know what? I never read the book when I was younger, so I was coming to it fresh, which was quite nice because Charlotte obviously reads it for the first time in the film, and it's kind of like a shock for her. So it was quite nice to come at it with no preconceptions and and sort of look at it and to be reading it for the first time with her in mind and like her point of view. So that was cool.
She falls to her knees after reading it. Is it because she's jealous or because she loved it?
I think that's for everyone else to judge. I think there's a bit of both. I think I think she's horrified by it, but also so jealous that she couldn't write anything. She wouldn't dare to write anything like that. Yeah.
Your directorial debut, Frances. Just tell me how it feels to finally be here and just representing this film.
Brilliant. I mean, it's such a long process compared to when you're acting in something. You're kind of like done in 6 weeks, and then you go off and work on a whole bunch of different projects. So by the time you come back to it, it feels relatively short. But this has kind of lived with me for so long. It's just so lovely to finally to be here and to kind of have the film interact with people. It feels very special.
It's a very special film, and you wrote it as well. Why Emily? We've got to start there.
Yeah, I just think she's such a fascinating person, and she's an introvert like me, and she wrote one of the most beautiful pieces of literature that we have. It's full of passion, and yet she lived this very quiet life, and I just feel like she has something to say also about who we are now, or who young women are now, kind of some things that they're in the middle of working out. Yeah.
Very, very inspiring lady. Why is she so inspiring, even now?
I think, well, like when I was growing up, I always felt there was a gap between who I really was and who I was kind of supposed to be as a young woman, and I think she might have felt like that, and I was interested in exploring that. And I think in Emily, ultimately, she was very comfortable with who she was, and who that was kind of different. And I feel like that says something very kind of beautiful now, I think, for young women. You know, it's okay just to be yourself, even if everybody else tells you it's not acceptable. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the cast that you're working with, just describe them to me if you can, because they're just incredible, aren't they?
I mean, Emma Mackey is just so phenomenal in this role. I mean, she kind of went above and beyond my expectations, and just so proud of what she's accomplished. And, you know, I look at Fionn Whitehead, who's just gorgeous as Bramwell, and Alexandra Dowling too as Charlotte. I think she does the most beautiful job. It's a very difficult part, and she does it so beautifully. And then also, you know, Ollie Jackson-Cohen, who's, you know, amazing. I just think he just did the most phenomenal job with that role. Yeah. So I'm really proud of them, and Adrian Dunbar and Gemma Jones. So we got very lucky.
Let's talk about Anne then. I mean, when you found out you were going to be Anne, what was the reaction?
Well, I mean, I was really excited from the get-go, but then a little bit nervous. So I was like, I want to do it justice. But yeah, no, it's been like so great playing someone so amazing and like such a cool person from literature. You know, especially being a writer myself, like, you know, it's such an inspiration being able to like play someone who's written some incredible books, and you know, she's just great all around. So yeah, it's been like an honour, really.
Talking about great all round, why is Emily so special? Because this film is named after her.
Yes, yeah. Emily is just like, you know, she's like a bit of a force of nature. You know, she was so like ahead of her time, I feel like, and misunderstood sometimes. I just think it's so great to have a film that's like about someone that I feel like so many people can relate to, because I feel like sometimes we all feel a little bit out of place, and it's great that the film shows that in such a beautiful way. It's like poetic almost, kind of like her writing and stuff like that, which is why it's so lovely.
You wait and see.